Hi, so this is another video request and it came from, it's either Sue or SU, I'm not sure. So again, thank you for putting this forward. This was regarding INTJs and dealing with competition in both sports or building products. So I do have familiarity with both of these sides, so it's interesting that this question came up. So when I was putting some thought into this response, two things kept coming up. And for myself, the number one and two things, actually they're probably tied for one, is very high standards for myself. I am my own worst critic, and I'm also wanting to make sure that I am doing the best I can based on where I'm at. So the other component is control. So control is something that actually you can either struggle against or make it something that is a good tool for you, because it can be both toxic as well as a positive. So it can drive you or drive you insane. On the sports side, I find that I would argue that we're a lot different than maybe our extroverted folks out there, where for myself, it's very internally focused. So I am competing against myself. So either a personal best or making sure that I am competing and in the right physical and trained shape in order to compete where I feel possible. So say, for example, back when I used to run half marathons, making sure that I had no gas in the tank basically when I was done a race. And if I did still have some energy at the end of the race, that meant that I didn't try and work hard enough. And for me, that was just more an internal challenge to say, look, I could do that. And for myself, even though it's internal, I'm not going to sit there and sweat over whether or not I didn't get an extra 45 seconds or that type of thing. The point is, I was out there, I achieved it. Well, actually not even achieve it. I was out there and I did the best I could. And because we have a high standard for ourselves, that's usually something that we might be performing maybe at a higher level, because we're not sitting and wanting to be just coasting by. And I think that's a really interesting trait for us. I think that helps us in our lives as well, that because of that high standard, we want to excel. But we don't go and make sure, oh, I have to be number one. If I'm not number one, then I'm nothing. And because that's impractical. I think too, for myself personally, I definitely understand that everyone has strengths and weaknesses in their own physical and mental makeup. So I don't get upset when someone else is stronger than me in, say, a certain sport. I can own that that's just not a sport for me. So I'm, say, for example, 5'11". I'm not going to be a gymnast. So those things, you just take it for what it is. But yeah, so for the sports thing, that's the big one that came out for me. And also the training. So that speaks, I think, also to the larger, broader perspective of our personality types. Me, in this example, because if we don't put in the training, if we don't put in the prep, we have no one to blame but ourselves. And I think that carries through most aspects of my life, which means, again, that's the control and performance side of things. So on the work front, building products, that's what I do, like I mentioned before, building software. And it's the same type of mentality that I feel translates into doing these products. So when you speak of competition against other products, it's interesting because with that, The one caveat is that I am more, I'm not aggressive, but I guess I am more analytical of what the other products are out there, because it's all, and I feel for myself, it's because with building software, there's so much elements of the process that I am not in control of, nor can I be in control of. So it's not like, say, you're running a half marathon and all of a sudden it became rainy. You can control for how you manage that. But in software development, there's a ton of different things that are out of your control. And the other thing is access to the market itself. So when you're coming in and there's already established products out there, you almost see where you're looking to see what the neighbors are doing, kind of thing, and looking to see what they're bringing, and see whether or not yours is better in your mind. And I think that has to speak to a little bit more of potential insecurity because of the lack of control. So that's where almost more of an ego reaction. And I'm not saying ego in a confidence way. I'm saying ego in a triggered way, which that's not a positive trait. So that's something that I continue to work on. And as I've gone through this process longer and longer, I speak to it almost like you're a beaten down dog, in a good way, because there's not many punches that can be pulled on you that are going to knock you down anymore. So you get more perspective and you don't have that external focus as much. But again, the high standards, that is big. That, again, you want the best product ever. You're not going to be doing something for no reason. You're not going to waste time unless you really believe in that product. So I think that, again, that internal confidence that comes from knowing who you are helps with the competition regarding products. So I hope that provides a little bit of context regarding competition. It was an interesting question for sure. Again, love to hear comments and video requests. Please put video request at the beginning of the comment. So again, thanks so much, and I'll hopefully post a couple more.